So hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And I like to pay myself to do stuff. What I mean by that is that I'll give you the star example. I once had to change my brakes because, there's that point where you start hearing all that squeaking when you press on the brakes. And then if you check the brakes and you realize that they've been worn down. And there was one time when I was hard up for money and I realized that, at that time I didn't know that I should get 3 quotes. And I just wanted to interject to say that I've spoken about this before, but I think from a slightly different angle, which is that I don't really trust professionals, which I'm a professional. And I get that I'm saying a little bit that I'm being hypocritical because I'm a professional and I don't trust professionals. Well, yeah. I would say that I think I'm different because I'm different, and at the same time, I'm just like every other professional. Yeah, sometimes I'm going to make mistakes. At the same time, though, I would rather not make much money or any money at all than have something go out that was not of the best. So there's that. Having said that, so I had to change my brakes, and I thought to myself, I just got 1 quote from somebody and it was for $90, and I was like, whoa. So I can go and buy a toolkit and sit here trying to do this thing for like 5 hours. And, at the end of it, if I fixed it, it means that I've paid myself half of that same amount of money. And now I have a toolkit and I can do the same thing myself next time. If I give this to the person to do, it means that I'm not going to know how to fix this next time. So like I said, I could come out the other end of this brake change with a toolkit, with a little bit of knowledge, with some earnings, because they are earnings. Just like if I took the brakes to a mechanic to get fixed, he would be earning his money. I would be earning my money to repair these things. So it's happened a lot. And I did take a long time to repair my brakes. But at the end of it, and this is the thing, at the time I was making like $10 an hour, I think. And that's, yeah. So I was going to pay somebody, and even that $10 an hour was not, you can't multiply that by 8 hours in a day and come out the other end, because that wasn't how it was. I was working as a student, and I was only getting paid for like half of the day. Then the other part was supposed to be going towards my assistantship. So yeah, it wasn't a great system, but that's how it was. So I was really getting paid like $10 an hour, but 40 hours, $40 a day, really. And I was going to school after work, so that's how that worked. So it was really going to be like paying somebody for 2 and something days of work. Yeah, of course, it's not their fault that that first 40 hours was going to my assistantship, but that's how long it was going to take me to do it. So I could give myself a job that was worth 2 and something days of my work. And if I push that into another angle, recently a relative of mine was via WhatsApp sent me some stuff about like fast food from a fast food outlet, and she said in the end that, hey, yeah, this is just because I was like, do you have shares in this? Why are you pushing this stuff? And she's like, no, just in case you don't feel like cooking. And I'm like, no. There's no system where I don't feel like cooking so much that I would pay somebody else to make my food more expensively than I would. I mean, yeah, I guess I get paid more, but I have a limited number of hours that I can work feasibly. I can't work while I'm eating. There are hours in the day where I can't get paid for because there's no work to be done. And there's weeks where there's no work to be done sometimes. My rate is high, but at the same time, it's something that I can do very easily. If you go to the grocery, for example, their food is a lot cheaper than fast food. So if you really don't want to cook, it doesn't make sense going to a place that has to spend money on their property, that has to spend money on advertising and whatever else, as opposed to the grocery store that sells food, prepared food lots of times. And with respect to this pandemic, we see the same thing happening, that people end up eating at home. And unfortunately, a lot of people involved in the restaurant industry have lost their jobs. But those people who are buying stuff from the grocery, they are saving themselves a heck of a lot of money. I mean, from a reasonably priced restaurant to one of these high-end restaurants, there's a lot of work involved in preparing things, especially in an elegant way and a presentable way, that like they do at any place that you have to buy food. It has to look good, right? I know a lot of people want to have cookbooks and make their food look really nice and special and all this other stuff. Why? I remember a study where they gave people, two groups of people, this thing, like, one of those meal replacement things, and to one group, and then to the other group, they gave them this really nice, dinner. And after an hour or so, they went back to these people and they were like, how do you feel about the stuff that you ate? And, the meal replacement stuff isn't that exciting. The dinner, the meal that you get from a restaurant or whatever, yeah, it's really exciting. It's interesting. But what they found is they had both groups of people, whether they drank a meal replacement shake, or they actually had a meal, a fine meal, their amount of satisfaction was the same. They had the same amount of satisfaction after an hour. So why go and spend this amount of money to have the same satisfaction after? And then if you push that forward after a day, right at the exact time when you are going to eat that thing, I'm sure you'd be like, oh yeah, this is great. But really, that only happens if you have a change in life circumstances. If you're used to having meal replacements, they're not going to be as bad as people think that they're going to be. And if you're used to having this splendid meal, it's not going to be as great as people think that it is. We get used to our station in life. So this thing that we think that we're going to do, it's really only if it's unusual. And then if it's unusual, then I guess we can save a bunch of money using the cheaper one. I think that, people might say, well, no, you really should enjoy your meal, even if an hour later you're not going to remember it, or it's just going to be as satisfying as if it wasn't a fantastic meal. Well, if that is the case, I think that people really forget why we have taste buds and our sense of smell and all these other things. They're really to encourage us to do the right thing. I think people get caught up in this enjoy your meal. Why? The way that things taste are just an enticement to eat the right kinds of foods. Poop smells bad because we're supposed to stay away from it. Might have parasites and whatever else. Food smells good. Like, maybe apples or oranges or, a mango. They smell good, in order to encourage us to eat them. It's really just about our programming. And if we get lost in, let's really enjoy our programming. Well, I don't know. It's going to be hard for some people to appreciate. But anyway, I think I might be getting way too far into that. But when it comes to my car, if I can replace some electrical outlet or a light socket on my own, and I don't have to call somebody who's going to be at a rate that's more expensive than I make my money, then I may as well, you go to the breaker box, you turn off the electricity, and, you have a tester to test that there's no electricity in the circuit. You look at a YouTube video and you pay yourself what that person, you were going to pay that person. That's you earning money. That's your side hustle, is making money from yourself. I look at a lot of YouTube videos about, making money. And some of them say, you need to get a side hustle in order to give, work more and make more money. But one of your side hustles can be being a professional for yourself. And that might involve, repairing my washing machine, which I did. And I've always done minor repairs, but then this one that I did, a couple months ago that I would have spoken about, this was a really tough one. It was intimidating. But now, not only do I have the money that I would have paid somebody to come repair it, but I have knowledge, I have self-confidence, I have pride. I have so much more than I would have had if I just gave a guy money to do something for me. So, yeah, I really do like to pay myself to do stuff, especially expensive stuff. So anyway, guys, you can wish me luck. You can like, unlike, or comment. And of course, you can do nothing. Peace.